All right, y'all. This is probably the single most requested video topic since I started the YouTube channel. How do I pre-grade? One of the reasons I'm getting that question a lot is because I posted some PSA shipment returns recently, and folks that watch our channel know that I've had about a 75 to 85% gem rate historically on every shipment that I've sent into PSA. And so what we're gonna do today is I actually just bought someone's childhood collection. If you're watching, Lucas, shout out, thanks for watching. Thanks for trusting me with this. Gonna send him a Gengar VMAX soon and just got him paid for the rest of it today. I don't know really too much about what the conditions of these cards are gonna be. I haven't taken a look at any of them. I do also have over off to the side here, this is my current grading pile. So we will probably at some point visit those as well, just because I think a majority of the stuff here looks really good and is probably gonna be a good candidate to grade. But I'm gonna walk you through everything I'm looking for in these cards when I'm thinking about building at PSA shipment. We got a lot of cards to go through here. I've got natural light coming in through the window, so hopefully that's actually gonna help what we're looking at down here, even though it's getting in my eyes right now. The first thing that I look at, of course, because the cards usually come to me in top loaders like this. When you're at a card show, they're probably in top loaders like this. So unless I just opened a pack, this is always where you start. I'm gonna start by just basically ruling things in or out. So you'll see me do this at card shows. If you watch the buyer POV videos, you'll see me kind of, oh, look, knocking the whole stack over. PSA 9. You'll see me do this, right? I'll pick up cards and then I'll kind of like make little stacks like this. And that's sort of just like my, maybe I gotta take a closer look stack versus my like, this is definitely not gonna make it stack. So that's kind of how I'm gonna start this process now. We'll look at some cards together and I'll tell you what I'm looking for as I'm doing this. So first thing I'm looking at is the centering and the edges, especially on these like black border trainer gallery cards. They have like a really, it's almost like paint, like the material really can like chip, it shows whitening really clearly. The centering on this card to my eye actually looks great. So we're off to a good start there. And the back of this card also looks really good. So kind of interesting. I said I was gonna make piles and then I'm like so excited. The first card we look at a glance seems good. So let's take it out of the sleeve and top loader and take a closer look here. So immediately I'm noticing on the upper corner, there is something. So I'm gonna touch it and it comes off. So it's just like a little bit of dust or something that was there. So it's not actually on the card. Little white dots and things like that, just touching them gently to see if they come off. And they do, they are coming off. So for the most part, there's a little white dot down here. I think it's gonna be hard to catch some of these details in a video, y'all, but we're gonna do our best. There's a little white dot here as well. I don't know if, yeah, you can see that. I think you can see that, yeah. Okay, and it came off. Okay, so I just needed to apply a little bit more pressure. And looking at the back here, the centering is really good. And there's no dots on the corners. This I would probably send. The only thing I'm noticing though, let me see if I can get the right light on it for you. Right here, can you see that? These roller marks. This is like a factory thing and it is like a vertical kind of scratches. You can see them at the bottom too. I usually see them on the bottoms of cards. This one's pretty bad. The truth is I actually wanna learn how PSA responds to these. I had some comments in a previous video that they will actually usually let these slide if it doesn't like mess up the edges. The edges of this card are quite good. It's just these like surface roller mark scratches. It's a factory problem. It's nothing that Lucas did wrong with this card or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty bad. Okay, but the card otherwise, right? You're all following me here, right? The centering is really good, surprisingly good. Maybe, I mean, if we put a tool to it, maybe the slightest bit top heavy compared to bottom, but this is very, very good at a glance. Even the back centering is really good. No white dots in the corners. I am going to add this to a grading pile. Again, part of it is it's almost an experiment because I haven't been sending typically these cards that have those roller marks, but some people in the comments said that these roller marks, sometimes PSA will let them slide. So we are gonna set that one aside. Okay, so now let's keep rolling. Oh, by the way, so another thing is I don't know, I don't have enough information in my head as to the 10 premium on most cards. So a lot of the time when I'm doing this, it's sort of like the Zapdos, like, I don't know. I mean, the centering here looks pretty good at a glance. It's the main thing I can see through here. It has a, solid sleeve back, so I don't know, maybe, but the centering's good. I have no idea if this is like, this might be a $5 card and like a $20 PSA 10, and if that's the case, it's not worth it. So we'll take a look at that as well. Okay, here's a good example. See this Ting Lu? The left border, way thicker than the right border. there's no shot this is a PSA 10. I don't even need to look at the rest of the condition, which frankly looks really good actually. No issues with the corners. This is a very mint card. It is clearly a near mint card, probably pulled straight from the pack. It doesn't seem to have any cosmetic issues. Corners look fine, but that centering is really bad. And so I'm glad we got an example. This is, I didn't plan any of this. I'm picking these cards at random. It's going kind of perfectly for explaining pre-grading. This is obviously going in a kind of a reject pile there. Let's keep it rolling. The Wo Chien, his friend. Okay, this one's not as bad, but it has the same problem. The left border, clearly thicker than the right border. I'm also gonna reject this one, but it's not quite as bad. And well, I guess for good measure, let's take a look at the back. Oh, the back, I mean, come on. Anyone can see that it's almost a miscut. It's so much thicker on the right, but the corners and everything, again, just like the Tinglu, beautiful. So clearly it's a near mint card, and someone who just wants that card, they're gonna buy it. It's, I'll sell it at near mint price. Okay, some of this more vintage stuff. So he did tell me that this is his childhood collection. So again, I don't have a lot of this like XY era PSA 9 or 10 upside stuff. I'm really looking for 10s and modern stuff. You could see immediately through the top loader, there's whitening at the top. This is not gonna be a 10, but it probably is like a near mint or a near mint minus card. Without taking it out, obviously, I gotta look at service condition to make sure I'm not missing something through the top loader, which I'll do when I go to price cards, but for grading purposes, that's not a 10, so that's gonna go in the reject pile. I was saying that this is his childhood collection, and I have like a soft spot for childhood collections, and he's selling it to fund some stuff, just his car, like stuff for his car, some upgrades to his car. People move on. That's one of the nice things with collectibles. They have some value. But whenever I buy childhood collections or just anyone's personal collection, when I buy the whole thing, like someone's really not gonna have a lot of Pokemon cards left at the end of the transaction, I try to find one or two things to just keep for myself in my personal collection. I'm just sentimental about personal collections like that. At a glance from the front, this Lucario, see some of these eras, some of these borders are a little tricky. You'll see this in certain cards where like, there's not really a bottom border. So you kind of have to eyeball that like, this looks actually a little thick to me compared to just from looking at thousands and thousands of cards. At a glance though, not bad. I'm gonna put this in the maybe and we'll take a closer look. Mega Steelix. Okay, yeah, you can see immediately. So the front centering, good. That's the first thing I'm looking at. It's the thing that's probably just the easiest to see when a card is like in a sleeve or in a top loader and you're not inspecting the condition really closely. If the card isn't center, that would obviously be, you'd be able to tell most of the time through a top loader. And this one actually looks really center, but on the back, you can see there's some whitening here. This is, an LP condition card. Great card for somebody's binder. Really awesome. Love this. This era just keeps growing on me, and the texture and stuff makes me think of Coop, if you're watching Coop. Yeah, so that's gonna be a reject for the grading pile, but awesome card. Now here's, Gengar's one of my favorites. I gotta check if I have this card or not, because that's a perfect example of something that could go in my personal collection. LP, right? I mean, it's in the exact, very similar condition to the last one at a glance, so not gonna grade it. Let's take a quick peek though. I'm gonna do this sort of off camera. Okay, I don't have this card in my personal collection, and I collect Gengars. So I'm gonna set this aside. That's probably just for me. And that's, Lucas had said, I know they're going to a good home, and yeah, some of them will just stay in a good home with me. So same deal here. Can't see the back because of the type of sleeve it's in, but at a glance, I can kind of tell the edges at the top here are a little bit soft. I don't know if that's coming through nicely here. Soft as in like, there's a little bit of whitening maybe. I do want to take a closer look just in case. So I'm gonna start going a little bit faster through these and not narrating every single one, because you know what I'm doing here, right? Whitening, you can see that? Yes, we can see that. I'm gonna keep this one in just because for some of these I don't know. Actually, I should look it up now. Is it worth grading like the raw value versus, let's just take a quick look. This one is XY86 promo. So, 20 to 40 probably-ish dollar card, depending on the condition. Oh, actually, there is a real premium on these in other grades. PSA 7, 8, 9, these selling for over $100. Okay, so that adjusts my criteria a little bit. I might actually want to take a closer look at these. So I'm gonna start a separate pile for this sort of mid-era and XY era stuff. Now we're just gonna go fast. Again, we're gonna go fast now. Okay, probably not. Okay, you can see the edge there, the corners, like this corner. It's like soft, it's just worn. Yeah, oh man, I mean, this is like maybe a heavy played card. There's no shot this is worth grading, but well loved, you know, it's we like to see that. Here's another obvious centering problem. The left much thinner than the right. You can see that, right? So pretty much an instant DQ, and then plus all this whitening. Yeah, if I'm taking a quick look without pulling this out, this is probably like PSA 6 or something. So I'm gonna set that aside in the reject pile. And again, let's just go, again, we're gonna go fast, centering problem. Okay, I keep saying we're gonna go fast and then I keep explaining it to you. Let's actually go fast. Centering problem. Looks potentially good. Maybe. Centering problem. So centering's not too bad on this one. There's a little white dot in the upper right. You know, you can get away with stuff like this at PSA sometimes. I have a high, I guess a relatively high, I don't know. Don't know. I think it's a pretty high gem rate, in large part because I am precise about what I send in. I'm not just sending in, I'm not taking a lot of these gambles like this. When I see a little white dot like that, I'm not the person that like takes that shot. Yeah, maybe. Slightly right heavy, but I will take a closer look at this. These illustration rares are brutal. They tend to have print lines, so they're really, really tough graders. It's right heavy. Cool card though. Awesome art. Yeah, and beat up here, obviously not worth grading. A crease there. I'll just show you real quick, make sure you can see, right? You can see stuff like this through a top loader. We're just rejecting it outright, right? Creases like that, you're looking at like PSA 3 on a good day, even if the rest of the card is great. Man, nice art on this one. Igawa, yeah, I mean, this guy's a stud. Igawa, Akira Igawa, great artist. Cool. I love this card, awesome. That's a maybe. Mewtwo, oh my gosh. Oh, this is literal, oh yeah, that's the stuff. Look at the top border, real thick, right? That's the first thing I noticed. Look at the bottom. All the Pokemon stuff, this is literally a miscut. Almost, not quite to the level that the printers usually have like a dot. And sometimes people actually pay a premium. This is like literally a miscut though. So sometimes people will pay extra for this as an error card, especially when there's a white dot on the back. I'm gonna like set that aside on its own, but yeah. Ancient Mew, what a classic. Now we're gonna look at Japanese. So this is our reject pile. I'm just gonna set that aside. These are our maybes. And let's look at Japanese. The premium for 10s on Japanese is usually not that good. And for modern cards, 9s tend to be like raw value. So you just lose the grading cost if you're not pretty confident in a 10. The thing is though, Japanese quality control is quite good. So odds are a lot of these are gonna be worth looking. So we're gonna just go kind of quick through these. I really do like this card. Yeah, honestly, most of these are gonna be worth taking a closer look at probably. Oh, not all Japanese. Look at that little guy. Yep, beat up. Well, not too bad, but like, it's definitely worn. It's not gradable. Yeah, looks good. And Cluncher. This actually looks good, but I don't have this card, and I am collecting a underwater scene type of page, like binder page. So I'm probably gonna set that aside as a keep for me. So I think we actually nailed it where like I said, I usually try to keep 1 or 2 cards. I'm probably gonna keep 2 cards for myself from this collection. Let's jump in and take a closer look at some of these. Let's focus on the modern English stuff. I think that's probably what most people are interested in a video like this. This, you know, honestly, the process with vintage is completely different. I've had really not a lot of success at all grading vintage. I've always done worse than I thought I was going to. So I'm probably kind of retiring from grading like true vintage right now. It just sort of, juice isn't worth the squeeze for me there. So let's take a closer look at this Fion. So now that we're taking the cards out of the sleeves, we're taking a look at surface condition, right? So I'm running the light around on these. I have a lot of natural light coming through this window right now, so that's one of the reasons I'm choosing to film this right now. I actually brought a flashlight in case, just I would usually actually use my phone flashlight just to take a look if I'm not literally in the direct line of the sun like this. At a glance, this looks good. So what I'm looking for, no scratches, no dents, no gouges. And then with these illustration rares, very, very prone to having print lines. And this one doesn't have one that I am immediately seeing. So let's look at the back. Looks pretty good. This does have the same like roller mark problem as some of the other cards. I don't know if you can see that. It's especially obvious on this edge. Let's run some. Ooh, can you see that? That edge there, yeah. See how, you gotta run the light on it. You can really tell there, right? The edges on this card are not perfect on the back there. Man, that edge is probably gonna stop me from sending, yeah. I don't think this is, so we're rejecting this one. Let's look at our friend Ditto here. I'm doing the same process. Okay, this one does have surface scratches. I don't know how it's gonna show up in this video, to be totally honest with you. It's like under these fake numals. Or actually, I think those are the real numals. This is the fake one. There are surface scratches in the card that are not the result from like how they were handled. So this is almost certainly a reject. Yeah, there's a little white dot down there. I actually also don't think, this is probably a card that does not, it's probably an inexpensive card with an inexpensive PSA 10, so it's probably not worth grading anyway, even if it looked great. Mewtwo from the UPC. Centering looked pretty good. All right. Yeah, centering does look good. This bottom edge is a little, it's not perfect, but usually not disqualifying. The surface looks really clean on this so far. I'm not seeing any of the surface issues I saw from the last one, so now we'll turn it around. And not as promising. Let's see. And by the way, sometimes I will, before I send cards in, like if I find fingerprints and stuff, I will like use a microfiber cloth and kind of pull it away from the edges. This one does have a lot of like, it does have a lot of, it's not a condition problem in the sense that, I don't know if you can see that against the background there, that edge is white. Not a condition problem in the sense that like it was handled wrong or anything. This is just how it come out of the factory. I think I'm gonna reject that one just because if I can immediately see white like that, PSA is definitely gonna see it and probably going to knock me for it. This Durant, anyone out there building a Durant binder of just endless numbers of this Durant? Centering looks great at a glance, you know, more than good enough for PSA 10, maybe slightly bottom heavy. And it's definitely a little bottom heavy. So it's not perfect, but it's good enough. It's definitely, it should be within guidance there. And the back, there's a little something on the edge here. It's just like not perfect, but honestly, it looks pretty good. There's a little white here. So here's an example of like, I think this card has more than a 50% chance of hitting a 10. Unless I'm missing something. That's, I see this a lot on these English SIRs. There's a little like nick. It's kind of a nick. Yeah, it is. I don't know. Oh man, there's no way you're gonna be able to see this. The camera's not gonna focus on this, is it? It's like right here. Oh yeah, I think you can see that. Let's take a look at what the PSA 10 premium versus the PSA 9 is. You know, if in some cases the PSA 9 is actually worth a little bit, it's worth enough that like this might get a 9, right? It probably doesn't get worse than a 9, but it might get a 9. Let's just take a look what happens if we get a 9. If I'm going to lose a very small amount of money or actually just break even, it's worth still sending, especially if the PSA 10 premium is pretty good on this card. So let's take a look. This is raw $25, $30-ish card, depending on the condition. It is the same in a 9. It is $77 in a 10. That nick at the top is just what's tripping me up. There's people out there who would send this. I won't. because I won't, because the PSA 10 premium on that is just not that good, right? Let's say a $26-ish card. I paid 70-something% to buy this whole collection. So my cost is 20-ish or a little bit less. I pay to grade it, plus shipping, insured shipping, and then I wait 3 months. My cost in the card graded is gonna be like $45. So I'd lose $20 if it hit a 9, and I'd make $30 if it hit a 10. It's sort of not worth it. Tinkaton. I do like this card, and I do like this evolution line. All right. Centering looks great. Maybe a little top heavy, but again, yeah, more than good enough. Okay, you can see there's like a huge fingerprint on the top of that. So that's a good example of like, for now, I'll just kind of touch it to make sure it is actually a fingerprint, and it is. So that's an example of something I would microfiber cloth later. Let's take a look at the back here. There is a little white dot. I don't know if you can see this. Little white dot on that lower corner. Would I grade this if I weren't making a video about making a grading? Oh, there's another one down here. No, this is borderline, right? Again, there are people who would send this. If I have this out at my table, someone might come by and grab it. If I'm vending and selling this, they might grab it saying that they'll grade it. It might 10. I'm gonna reject it. Let's just, for good measure though, let's just double check what the 9 versus the 10 price is. It's a $25, $30-ish card, give it 25 to 40, I guess it depends on condition. Maybe it's a $30-ish card, something like that. The 9 is gonna be about the same, it's raw price. PSA 10 is $100. It's not bad, it's better than the last one. It's almost worth taking a shot, but I can see those white dots now that I'm looking at it. I'm gonna reject it for now. So you can see this, how much we haven't let anything through yet, other than that Pikachu we checked at the beginning, which did look really good. Sear ledge. So we're gonna do the same thing we did before. We're gonna look for surface condition. No scratches that I'm seeing. Centering looks great. Any print lines now is the next thing I'm gonna look for. And I am not immediately noticing any. And usually when these have print lines, it's obvious. Okay, it's looking good. Okay, it does have those roller marks again, but like a lot of these cards do. And this one's not as bad. There is kind of a white dot here. I would really love to 10 this card myself. Man, this is a little white dot. This is another borderline one. Is that on the card? Yeah, there's a little white. This is not, this is like, I think in the card. I don't think this is surface. You notice that? There's a little white spot there. Oh man, I would love to grade this. I mean, this is another super borderline example. I'm not going to send this. But you never know. Maybe someone buys it from me and sends it and attends, but I feel like it's not more than 50% chance. And those illustration rares, by the way, are brutal. They're just really, really hard to hit 10s on. Maybe slightly bottom heavy, but overall really good centering. Should be, again, within that guidance. And immediately there's, yeah. And I think this is factory too. There's roller lines off of it. Can you see this? Like, hopefully y'all can see this. See that white speck at the top is pretty obvious. Oh, and then there's like actually a white ink dot there. Some people also consider this an error. I don't know what needs to happen to qualify as an error. That's actually a really prominent white ink dot. So I gotta do some research on what makes something a white ink dot error or an ink dot error, but I'm gonna put that over with that Mewtwo. That was kind of funky. And we're rejecting it and we're moving on. Feebas. Okay, same thing. We've already passed our centering check. It does look pretty good. Maybe a tiny bit top heavy, but again, within guidance. When I say within guidance, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, PSA requires like 55-45 centering, so you can be a little bit off. It doesn't have to be perfectly center, but it can't be obviously skewed. It has to, and they talk about like eye appeal of the card and stuff. So front centering is more important than the back centering, because it's really what you'd be looking at the vast majority of the time. Okay, same deal. This looks pretty good so far. Surface condition. I love this card. I don't see any print lines, so we're flipping it over. And the edges are a little white. You know, though, corners look good. The corners look really good, actually. The corners are great. Nice round corners, no like lifting, no white dots. This is borderline with a kind of fuzzy white edge at the top. That is worrying me a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing here. Let's see what the PSA 10 premium is on this. Because I actually think could 10, even with that white at the top. By the way, I'm using price charting here just because it gives me a nice quick view of like 7, 8, 9, 10 kind of stuff. Price charting is not the best way to look at these card values, but okay, it's a $20-ish card raw, $20-ish PSA 9, $90-ish PSA 10. I'm gonna take the shot on this one. I really want to hit more illustration rare 10s. I just haven't had a lot of success with it. So I don't know. That's not professional advice that like you get a vendetta and you need to like get your revenge for missing out. Okay, anyway, slightly right heavy here. Surface condition looks good. I'm not noticing a print line immediately. It does have a little white dot in the back. Reject. Cloth. I'm probably just gonna, let's just check. This is a little bit right heavy. Let me just look. Wow. Okay, wild. This is like a $5 raw card and the PSA 10 is over 100. So that tells me that it never tens. That's usually when you see that sort of jump, it probably just means the 10 rate is terrible. There must always be something wrong with them. Okay, this one does have a little bit of surface scratching at the bottom there. That could be literally, that could be from coming in and out of sleeves, honestly. It does look decent. There's slight white dots in the corners. Yeah, no, we're not sending this. Especially, again, without even looking up the pop reports, if you see a $5 or $10 card and the 9 is raw price also, and then the 10 is like $300, it means it's because the 10 is really hard to get. Just for the sake of time, because now I've been recording for like an hour, and I've probably only gotten through a little over half of the cards. Let's just skip forward to look at some of these older ones. I want to take a closer look at the Blaziken, because when we looked it up, it has a pretty good premium, even in like mid grades, like 7 and 8 and stuff, are over $100. So let's take a closer look at this and see if there's any reason to reject this. Because this is a card where, like, you know, we talk about gem rate and stuff, but like, if it's worth getting an 8, if you make money on an 8, then send it in and get an 8, or try. And you never know, right? I sent in cards that I thought were supposed to be a 9 and got 10s. Okay, so this does have some whitening. This is probably like a 7 or an 8. So let me just double check one more time. Yeah, even in a 6, this card can sell for like $100. This is almost certainly worth grading. They must usually be really, really messed up. I'd have to take a double, I'm gonna send this in just because it seems like it makes sense too, based on the fact that like a 6 can sell for 100, a 7, 125, 8, 150, 9, 165, 10, 200. I'm not seeing anything that would hold it back from at least getting a 6. Almost certainly make money on that. I don't know exactly what I paid. I'll have to double check after this because I'm using my phone to record this, so I can't take a look. Okay, now to wrap the video up, let's take a look at some cards that I have set aside already in a grading pile. So I'm gonna finish looking at this collection a little more closely, but you can kind of see where we're at, right? Like, I'll probably pull a few more cards out. I might have 4 to 10 cards to grade, and some of them are iffy. So I pulled this Hops Zacian, first pack Magic, getting into Journey Together. And when I took a look at it, I was like, you know what? It's a beautiful card. I don't need it for my personal collection. And it looks like it'll 10, so let's set it aside. Yep, I mean, see, it's kind of, it passes all those checks, right? It looks pretty good. I mean, maybe there's the faintest white on that corner, but the centering is good. Yeah, maybe the faintest white here. Okay, so it's not perfect, but I'm still sending it. It might 9, but I pulled it and it was fun. And if it gets a 10, that would be exciting. So we are gonna send that in. This Greninja, I believe I bought this at a card show. Okay, centering. Pretty good, slightly top heavy, but should meet the standard. And back looks clean. No, not even like any white dots really on the corners or anything. I mean, it does have those roller marks. Pretty much all English cards seem to have this problem. But yeah, looks good, huh? We're sending that bad boy in. A little froggy. Let's show you one more, because these are all sort of the same thing, right? I mean, it's repetitive. It's the same thing over and over. This is why I say like this process, not actually that fun to me. I do it because it makes sense to. It's one of the easier ways for me to help fund my collection. Okay, with these cards, by the way, when they have these black corners, again, this sort of ink-like, I always check that there's not like chips in that sort of paint finish. And the back looks great. This I picked up at a card show. It is maybe slightly top heavy. That just, I mean, it actually almost doesn't even look top heavy to me, but the bottom border looks a little thin to me. I'm just making sure that corner doesn't have any issues. Actually, I think it looks okay. So I'm gonna send that. Again, one of those things, you kind of never know. I'm actually gonna swap out. I don't want a perfect fit sleeve for this. All right, and we got, you know, some other fun stuff. But again, I'm gonna take a closer look at these before I send them, but I'm just gonna follow the exact same process I just followed here. All right, so if you've ever left a comment or DM'd me saying I should make a video about how I inspect cards for grading, you better still be here. If there was a way to look at the retention metrics, I would find you all. You better still be here at the end of this video. I didn't think this would be that interesting a video, but people were clearly interested in the topic, so hopefully you did find it interesting, but that's pretty much my process, and I just go through that. I do it with my eyeballs. I don't use any centering tools or apps or anything like that. I think if you're trying to go for like BGS black labels or CGC pristines, you should probably use tools like that. It'd probably improve your odds. I don't, and again, I'm not an expert in this. I've sent a handful of shipments over the past 6 months or something like that, but I do have a relatively high gem rate. 75 to 85% of the cards that I think are gonna get a 10 do get a 10. And in more cases, I've gotten 10s when I thought I was actually gonna get an 8 or a 9 than the other way around. If you're watching this video and you're this far into the video, you've probably seen some of my other videos before, but just in case you haven't, grading for me, not really like my main way of interacting with the hobby. I don't really enjoy it. This is one of those like, I enjoy the destination and not the journey. Like almost everything else about Pokemon for me is actually just about the journey. The people and the collecting the cards and making content and stuff is so much fun, and there's really no end game in mind for that. It's just fun. Grading is the inverse. I dislike almost everything about the journey, but I like the destination. It is really fun to actually get a shipment and a shipment back where you did really well. That is really exciting. I really just grade cards because it is a great way to fund my own collection. So if you're interested in how I'm making my Pokemon collection free to me, you can check this video out. And if you watch that video and you enjoy it, and you're wondering why I don't just quit my job and do Pokemon full time, I talk about that here too. I'll see you there.